All right, welcome back to Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 online. We're getting ready for our very next run, which will be Mortal Shell by LilAggy. But before we do, I do want to point out that we have received so many donations for $50 with people who were keeping up their word to donate after the world record in Diablo 3. I just want to give a huge shout out to all you individuals. So many, too many to count. We have seen it, and we thank you so very much for that. And we have $25 from Joseph Katrambi that says, really liking this run. Hope it marks a growing trend in tandem runs. Many thanks to everyone involved, and Happy New Year. And with that, we're going to get started with Mortal Shell with LilAggy. The floor is yours.
Hello, hello. My name is Aggie. I am joined by my lovely cat, Scarlet, back here, and my boy, Mitch. Mitch, you want to say hi?
Hello, I'm Mitchriz. I'll be commentating this run.
Yeah, and we are going to play through Mortal Shell from Cold Cemetery. If you're unfamiliar with this game, it is a indie Souls-like, like very, very Souls-like. It's practically Dark Souls. Like the closest thing you can get it without it actually being Dark Souls. But, yeah, so we are going to fire up a new game here, and we can explain some stuff as we go through the tutorial. So, timing is going to start on go. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah.
So of course, this being a Souls-like, we have to start with the tutorial.
Yeah. Not skippable in this one. So we're going to get up nice and slow. Again, it's a Souls, so most of the mechanics should be pretty familiar. If you've played one of those, you roll a bunch, you attack a bunch. The game is super hard. As far as story goes, I could not even begin to explain what's going on in this game. Basically, play as this naked dude the whole time, and he can possess these bodies called shells, but we are not going to do that because it is slow. So you will see what that means in a little bit. For now, we are just going to fly through some combat tutorials. Right here, it's introducing one of the unique mechanics of the game, hardening. Mitch, you want to explain that?
Yeah, so hardening is a mechanic unique to this game where effectively you can hold it and the next hit that would normally damage you will instead stagger whoever hits you, causing you to gain opportunity to hit them back instead. Very useful in the run and very useful as a casual playthrough. It can be done even in the middle of your own attacks. So it's a very good get out of jail free card, but it does have a pretty long cooldown.
Yeah, and you can see Hattern here just used his own hardening ability and blocked our hit, which we just hit him to get him out of that as soon as possible. This fight you are intended to lose, so we are just going to lose as fast as possible. And then we are actually going to get into the meat of the game. This is old fish moly here takes us away. I don't know why you get swallowed by fish.
First glitch here.
Oh, yeah. This is important. This is maybe the best glitch of the run, right after the tutorial. So there's going to be a fade-in cutscene where you're slowly getting up off the ground. But what I can do is if I queue up an attack during that animation, it actually cancels it before I'm even on screen. And then I can start crawling through this tunnel, but the player animation still plays. Yeah, you could hear me moving around there. And now you will get to witness the greatest glitch. We call this butt slide for soon-to-be obvious reasons.
Unfortunately for current players on the current patch, I believe this has been patched out, so gonna have to down patch if you want to see this gloriousness for yourself.
Yeah, look at them cheeks. So yeah, now that we're actually in the game, you can see in the bottom left that tiny little red bar. That is my health. Normally, when you pick up a shell, there's 4 different shells in the game, and they have different stats and such. Normally, when you pick up a shell, that bar gets bigger, and you can actually take more than a single hit. But now you will also see this giant green bar that this naked man has. And we want to keep that. So there's normally a body to the left there you're supposed to get. But we're not going to do that, which means that I am going to be one hit the entire run. So if a single thing hits me, or I take a single point of fall damage, I just die.
Luckily, the hardening mechanic will help us prevent a lot of otherwise unavoidable damage, such as fall damage. Hardening can even prevent fall damage, but only when you're in this shell-less state. If you have a shell, you would get damaged anyway.
Right, just a nice little gimme for players that want to go this route. They let you fall down holes, at least. We are actually going to take one intentional death here. So I talked to that lady over there. She's basically the bonfire of this game. And then I'm opening this chest to get a weapon upgrade and having this lovely lad Grisha. Oh, what a schnoz. He's going to kill us, so we warp right back to her. And,
although the main point of that is not for the warp. It is actually to gain an item that you get. The first time that you die, you get an item that lets you warp back to your last bonfire. It's in a lot of the Dark Souls games. And for this one, we are going to be abusing that to warp back after killing any of the bosses in the game.
Yeah, so this tarnished mask we just got. Basically, you use that and it'll bring you back to the last lady you talked to, which for this round, we're going to keep it right here the entire time. Now, the ladies are also your checkpoints. So that means if I ever die, I'm going back to the start of whatever area I'm in. And some of those areas are extremely long.
One in particular.
Yeah, we'll get there later. Okay, so the hardening slows down time temporarily. Now, normally when you hit this guy, it's going to launch you backwards. But if I harden right when I hit him, you will see that it's kind of a Breath of the Wild situation. So here we go. And we just zoom over. And that was actually a bad launch, so I'm going to die. Great. I didn't get enough height to actually refresh my harden to cancel the fall damage on the way back down. So we'll try that again. That's not a huge deal. But yeah, hopefully we get some more height this next time.
I've kept your flesh.
And we just get that to get out of the tower quickly and start rolling midair on our way to the first of 3 areas in this game.
Yeah, so there are 3 main bosses that need to be defeated as part of the sort of main storyline quest, and there is no way to sequence break killing those 3 that we know of currently. So we have to go through, we have to kill all 3 bosses, come back, and finally beat the last boss.
Yep. So we're going to take a quick detour here and open another chest. And this chest has an item that we can upgrade our weapon attack with. We're going to get 5 of those to get max attack pretty much immediately after this first boss.
Yeah, it makes the boss fights a lot faster.
Yeah, like way faster. You'll notice that I'm just spam rolling the whole time. This guy rolls faster than he runs, and he has almost infinite stamina, so there's no reason not to.
Additionally, the iframes, the invincibility frames on the roll, are very, very generous when you're not in a shell. So you are almost entirely invincible as you roll through everywhere.
Yeah, there's like 1 frame between each roll that you can actually take damage. So hopefully I don't get memed and actually get hit during that. Yeah, we're gonna upgrade our weapon with that 1 quenching acid we got. And then also this weapon enhancement we got right before the intentional death to Risha at the start.
Yeah,
so
and
that gets us...
spike is very, very powerful.
Yeah, so it's basically like the equivalent of a combat art in Sekiro. It does huge damage. It uses these yellow bars right above my health bar in the bottom left. Those are called Resolve. So to use the combat art, it takes 2 Resolve bars. And the good thing about the art is that you are invincible the entire time you're using it. So we can use it to iframe through a lot of different attacks during the boss fights.
And Resolve is regained just by attacking, so because the shell has so much stamina and can attack super quick, you refill your Resolve in a very, very short time.
Okay, we got a little unlucky and that guy landed a fireball on us, but lucky for us, this game promotes good fire safety. If you just constantly roll while on fire, you will iframe the burn damage and be just fine. So, no
Don't
worries.
stop, but do drop and roll.
Yes. Now, the other thing that resolve can be used for is parrying. So that takes 1 resolve bar. We're not going to see it on this first boss, but it will be very important for the second and third boss. And that kind of like symbol on my back, I don't even know what to call this thing. That is the parry tool. And we can use that to block an attack, and then we'll get various counter attacks from each boss item that we turn back into the main hub. And the one we get from this guy in particular is going to be super, super useful, but I'll explain that in a little bit after we beat this guy up. So we just got to watch this cutscene. None of the cutscenes are skippable first viewing, unfortunately.
Yeah, this
We'll be
first
getting
boss
in
is
firstly.
not super difficult, but he does have one attack in particular during the second phase that can be pretty deadly if you're not paying attention for it. Aggi's gonna probably play it pretty safe and be dodging whenever he might have the opportunity.
Yeah. I'll just let you handle the comms on this so I can focus and not completely butcher it.
Yeah. So you'll notice what he's doing here is he's attacking twice, and then he's actually performing a dodge to cancel his attack animation, cancels the lag afterwards. That way he can start up the next attack faster. He's also making good use of the harden iframes, he's making use of the dodge iframes, and he's making use of the spear iframes. When you sort of chain those 3 together, you can pretty much just keep attacking without much fear of being hit. So here, the boss actually started with the really, really fast, really bad attack to get, but luckily Aggie was already in iframes when it happened. The kicks are also a little dangerous because he can kick you away even while you're hardened. Ooh. He's getting a little unlucky here on the pattern of attacks, but making pretty good use of his iframes to be able to keep going. He's out of resolve. This is a little scary. Okay, played it safe.
Took it
Nice,
slow
nice.
there, yeah. Overall, not too bad for Imrod. And we're going to continue beating up his body here, even though he's already dead, because that still builds resolve bar. And we want to have as much as possible going into the next fight. So now we're going to pick up our first of 3 required items to beat the game. These are called glands. And we're going to turn them back into the bird dude that we launched off at the start.
And here
So
you can see
there-
him
yeah.
utilizing the warp back. Because he did not grab any of the checkpoints along the way, when he warps back to the last bonfire, it goes all the way back to the tower. Normally, you have to go back through each of the sections in order to return to the tower.
Yeah, so the world like changes every time you beat a boss and has these new, scarier, like vampire kind of enemies. And we don't want to mess with that. So instead, we just have to not die the entire time. Great.
And so here we are going to get the first actually useful parry. This one places a bomb on enemies that explodes for an absolute ton of damage. So the strategy basically for the rest of the game is going to be to try to get those parries, which are going to get a ton of damage and beat the bosses very quickly.
Fun little ragdoll there also. Whenever you hit that guy, that's what's intended to happen if you don't harden, is he just ragdolls you, and we can use that to boost over the wall here real quick to get to the shop faster.
Yeah, that was intended. That was not a mistaken missed launch.
Yeah. So we just bought another attack upgrade from the merchant, and now we have 4 in our inventory. We've already applied 1. We can apply max 5. So once we get to the start of the next area, we'll level up our weapon all the way, and it will start melting.
And we do probably have time for some donations here as he's just rolling to the next boss.
Yep.
You got it. We have $25 from Ninja Hunter Live that says, "Go Aggie, and don't buy that gourd seed." LilAggy love.
Wrong game, Ninja Hunter.
We have 25 from Shadow in place of Rokagi that says, "Hey Aggie, I'm super excited for the run and know you're gonna crush it. Don't die to the little red dude. No one wants to watch that run back. As I said, I am filling in for Rokagi and giving this amazing fun fact about Rome. The Romans had built a road network of 53,000 miles by the early 4th century. Good luck in the run and keep up the great work, AGDQ. Where are all my honks at?"
Thank you, Shadow/Rokagi. Yeah, I have a guy in my chat that's obsessed with Rome, so he's constantly giving Rome facts. So now you get to experience that too. You're welcome.
And here we are coming up on the next boss, so probably
Yeah, we got a mini boss. Yep.
And so this boss here is actually fairly slow with his attacks. You can tend to sort of have time to react to whatever he does. But the one thing that does make this boss difficult is several of his attacks will start making these icicles drop. One dropped directly on Aggie. And if you're not invincible when it hits, that'll kill you. Even though it only does like 1 damage and normally just tickles, in shellless form, you'll just die.
Yeah, so fortunately that did not happen and we survived. But I've lost many a run to that. Just random icicle drops right on your head.
And here's
now
probably
we're going to
the
drop
biggest
all
skip.
the way down to the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed to slowly descend some stairs there, but there's a hole in a death plane that's supposed to stop you from doing that. Then we can just slide right through.
Yeah, that was just found accidentally. Someone just fell to the bottom and happened to live, and we all went, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah, that was you, Mitch, I believe.
That was me. I did that.
Yeah. I just failed a trick there. I was trying to skirt around the outside, climbing up those stairs to avoid this cutscene trigger, because as you can see, it's kind of slow. But no big deal.
Yeah, and right into the next boss after a couple more cutscenes. Maybe time for 1 donation.
You got it. Omax donates $100 with "What's lighting this donation in during Aggie's run?" Incentive goes to Runner's Choice.
All right.
Probably one more
Let's get the
donation.
80s around.
Towards Hades, all right. Autofill gives 25 with "Cheers, Aggie. Good luck on the run, and thanks for the quick buttons this year. I hope for the sake of chat you have your sturdy jeans on. You're doing great. Keep it up. Hashtag never forget."
I'm wearing sweatpants today. Everyone makes fun of me for wearing jeans indoors. GDQ chat, do you wear jeans indoors? It's like, I'm from Indiana, so this is like a totally normal thing, but everyone else says that it's not.
I wear
Anyway.
jeans indoors, Aggie. It's fine.
Okay.
I do too, but maybe we're all the outliers.
More importantly, we're doing a boss now. So this is
boss
Tarsus.
starts by sliding around, so
Yeah, and
There's
we're going
the
to
first
use
use
our
of our
first
parry.
parry. Yep. And you see it does ridiculous damage.
pretty
wow,
much
he has a
one
sliver
parry,
belt.
and the phase is almost over.
All right, we're going to take this slow. I don't know how he lived, honestly.
Yeah, that was
Should have died
strange.
from that.
Now the second phase is much more scary, so Aggie's probably going to have to concentrate. But he likes to slide around, and he has several difficult attacks, such as this one.
Mm-hmm.
Where he...
Yeah, the screen kind of freaks out on this one. Oh, what?
Oh, that's...
Oh my god, I got memes.
Yeah.
That just happens
he-
sometimes?
Yeah.
Go
He just
ahead,
fills
Mitch,
the room with
explain.
ice, and the ice, if it touches you, will freeze you and deal 1 damage. Again, normally not an issue, but when you don't have a shell, 1 damage is lethal. So the strategy generally is to harden into the ice, and then it will actually keep you hardened until the next time you get hit, which then is supposed to be when he hits you, you become unfrozen and unhardened at the same time, and then you survive. You're safe. But sometimes that just doesn't work. So, you know, what can you do?
And I'm gonna beat this guy up real quick just to get some resolve points back because we want to hit him ASAP with a combat art in phase 1.
We'd also like to have the enough for the parry as well. So hopefully we'll get that during the fight.
Enough, but
I would
there's a
probably
dude here?
yeah.
I think there's a dude here. Yeah, hello. Oh god. This is unpracticed combat. Okay,
Okay,
we're
there we
alive.
go.
We get some stamina back for the big fall. So as you can see, a death loses a bunch of time in this run. Believe it or not, this is one of the less punishing places to die. The area after this, if we die, we will literally lose 5 minutes. So I have a practice save ready to go for that in case that happens, because no one wants to watch that.
Luckily, the cutscenes are skippable on the second time that you fight any boss, so we don't have to watch those again. And again, the bomb should pretty much just take him out almost immediately. There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna take a little slower start to phase 2 because I don't have 3 resolve bars. Hopefully I get this off in time. Okay.
Oh, just
Canceled
barely.
the awful
That was
attack.
close.
Okay, now the strat for this is to just strafe him around the side over and over again if he would give me a minute here. This is an awkward fight because you see the like cloud of ice around the arena. That actually does damage, so if I touch it, I die.
Yeah, so Aggie's trying to bait out a particular attack here that he can then parry. If you continue walking around him, if he ever actually attacks, there we go.
Honestly.
He only has one attack he can do if you're right next to him.
All right, there we go.
And this will end the fight. And you can see just how strong that bomb is, taking out, you know, pretty much half of his health on a single use. Probably time for some donations while we just go back and deal with the lore.
You got it. I have plenty. We have $50 from Cancel that says, "What's up, Aggie? It's your boy Cancel from the SMO days. Give us some of that deep, goofy movie lore. Good luck with the rest of the run."
Thank you, Cancel. No one needs to hear the goofy lore. That's a little dark for GDQ. Not kid friendly.
We have $5 from Poeti that says, "Hey, the name's Poe. How go? Have fun, Aggie."
Thank you, Pop.
We have $100 from Apple Mac that says, "Shout out to my wife Helen, who put up with my playing Hades well into the night over the past few months." And we do have that donation incentive to add that Hades run to the marathon still going. If you want to see that happen, please head over to gamesdonequick.com and check out that donation incentive as well as plenty others that we have going on right now. One more?
Yeah, go one more.
You got it. We have Ash Nacht that donates 25 and says, "This is for all my friends and family who have fought or lost the battle to cancer. May we see the day that cancer is kicked to the curb."
Okay, I love this part up here. So there's this dude guarding this bridge, right? And he's right in the middle. So like, how are you gonna get past? Watch what happens. He just scoots over. I have no idea why he does that. He just scoots every time, and it gives you just enough room to run him to the right of him.
Yeah, so this area is by far the longest of the game. We're going to make it quite a bit shorter by doing pretty much our only sequence break of the game. You're supposed to open up a giant door that's blocking your way by going over to 3 pedestals and standing on them. But instead of that, we're just going to go over the gate. You'll see how that happens in a bit.
And I'm going to beat this guy up just to get a 3rd resolve bar for the boss, because ideally we want to have 3. So we're going to use
this area's gimmick
teleporter.
is teleporters. We will make some use of them, not as much use as you might see sort of casually, but a couple of them actually do get us further in.
Yeah, so you're intended to extinguish these 3 candles and then step on that gold button to lower this giant gate. Instead, hopefully we can roll over this relatively well. So this game has interesting geometry. Let me try the other method here. Ooh. Oh, that might go in the drink. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. So now we get to roll back. Joy of
to
joy.
go all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in this game, if you're sort of already heading upward, the game will let you just keep heading upward over walls. So you get that little bit of upward from that little block that's placed there, and the game basically just keeps letting you go upward and rolling over the gate.
I'm going to beat this
that's
guy
how I describe
once
it.
again. Yeah. That's pretty much accurate.
Do we have a bit of time for some pants-related donations?
Yes, we always have time
Excellent.
for pants-related
Excellent.
donations.
So, Hateful Hero gives us $25 saying, imagine wearing pants indoors. Weerar gives 25 with donation from a fellow Hoosier. Shorts indoors are a must, even in winter.
Pousier, I like that pronunciation.
I hope I pronounced that right.
You did not, but that's okay.
Carter, aka, donates 50 with can confirm it's normal to wear jeans indoors in Indiana. Good luck on the run, Aggie. Go fast.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it is Hoosier. I honestly, I don't know why we're called Hoosiers. That's just what people from Indiana are called.
So here there's some interesting bits to it, but it's primarily just rolling up this very, very long tower, hoping for our roll invincibility to let us avoid getting hit by a bunch of archers.
Yeah, these archers' arrows fly extremely fast and they're basically invisible. So you will get instigated by them if you're not careful. There's a little dev-intended shortcut here to creep around that corner there and then hop up to the top of the area where you can get a special item that we're not going to bother with. And now we're about halfway there to the boss. And we
Definitely
skipped
time
most
for
of
more
this
donations.
area.
Did someone say donations?
We
Indeed.
sure did.
Not Youngster Joey donates 25 and says, I wear jeans indoors. They're comfortable and easy to wear. And quote
shorts,
X,
though?
maybe he's grown up.
Wow.
Quote X donates 25 and says, hey Aggie, super stoked for this run and for your Sekiro race later this week. Is it possible I can get a hype from everyone? Incentive goes to runner's choice. Can we get a hype?
Do it for the crowd. There you go.
It's a lot harder to be synchronized online, I assure you.
That's true.
Yeah.
So this area is so long, we actually run out of stamina on the way there. I don't think that happens anywhere else,
Pretty much just
which
here.
is just absurd. Yep. All right, let's say one more donation.
And one more donation I got. we have $25 from Zaz that says, look, I used to have a job selling jeans, and the rules of wearing them indoors depend on fit and who you're with. You with people, any jean is fine. You by yourself, it's okay as long as it's a relaxed fit or other comfortable cut. Strut leg or boot cut? Why are you doing that to yourself? Go put on something comfy. We
But
got
the jeans
etiquette.
are comfy.
We have etiquette. Pants etiquette.
Okay, so this here is the worst boss in the game. So we call this Big Red and Little Red. For obvious reasons, you will see. You would think Big Red is the scarier one, but no, it is Little Red. Little Red is this guy is Siamese twin, I think they're called. And he is just on this guy's chest with a crossbow, and he fires bolts at you. And as I said, bolts are basically invisible in this game, and they fly super fast. And of course, they will kill me in one hit.
So if he can manipulate the boss just right, you can get a fairly consistent fight, but all of it is scary, where if it doesn't go exactly the way you're expecting, it's very easy to take a hit and die.
So we iframed Little Red's bolts there, luckily. And okay, we're through
Very
phase
clean.
one. Now Little Red is gone. That's the scary part. Also, this cutscene, it gets really shaky, just warning. I don't know what they were doing with this, honestly.
It's a little funky.
Yeah. So yeah, for phase two here, we're pretty much just gonna parry bait a really easy attack over and over again, and then combat art spam.
Yeah, again, making use of the harden to get in hits in otherwise unsafe attacks. I have not seen
kicked
that
me.
before.
I honestly did not know that could happen.
I didn't know that either.
Never happened before, moment. It's always one. Oh,
Oh,
I don't even know how that missed. The timing looked fine.
I'm
That's
pretty sure your
awkward.
timing on the parry was good. I think he was just slightly too far away, and his attack
Wow.
didn't quite hit you.
That sucks. Okay, this is the point where we load practice saves because I am not going all the way back there. That takes
Yeah,
way
that
too
run
long.
back is 5-ish minutes. So to save everyone's time, let's just load a save file.
Yeah, can at least attempt to be underestimate here. So let's see here. I just gotta move some files in. Go back to our menu. And if something was going to make this run go wrong, it was definitely this guy. So we came prepared for this situation. All right, so unfortunately with this practice save, I actually have this checkpoint here, which means after this boss, I'm gonna have to load a different practice save to actually get my proper warp back to do the final boss, but it'll be fine. A little janky, but it works.
Now, does this save file have the cutscenes already watched?
It does.
Oh, perfect.
So we can skip those, thank God.
And so here you'll notice as the parry goes off and he gets staggered, that's actually the most dangerous time because that's when Little Red will start shooting arrows guaranteed whenever he's staggered. That's why you actually basically double stagger with the parry into the spear.
What? Why? Okay, yeah, sure.
You know, he has a mind of his own. He's really upset.
Okay, let's just play the safe and combat art instead of go for parries that apparently don't work.
Yeah, using combat arts is very safe in this second phase. There we go. Probably time for a donation while he switches back over to the other file.
Yeah, so we're gonna grab this gland and then I will redo the file to warp us back where we actually need to.
All right, we have a $1,000 donation from Snap,
Ooh.
who said, had so many friends and family affected by cancer. Love this event. Miss Eugenia. F cancer.
I agree.
We have $50 from Mustradamus that says, let's get this Hades bonus run and kill cancer while we're at it.
Okay, so once this loads in, we are gonna warp back to the hub world for the last time, and then we've got the final boss, which is luckily the easiest of all of them. I think we're gonna misestimate by like a minute and a half here, but pretty much only because there's a super long unskippable cutscene that is a giant meme. It's got some pretty good voice lines in it though, so
Yeah, why would you skip that cutscene anyway, even if you could?
that would be senseless.
And so the reason this last boss is going to be the easiest is because using the spear that we've been using throughout the game, you can basically just spear into spear into spear and constantly stunlock the boss. Unlike the others, which have a bit of stunlock protection, this one you can pretty much just go one to the next to the next.
Yep. And I forgot to mention it, but so after the Enslaved Grisha mini boss, right before the Tarsus ice boss, I opened a chest, and the chest has a golden bell in it. And when you use the golden bell, it like doubles your resolve generation rate, which means we're gonna get like a bar every 2 hits. So we're gonna do 4 hits and then combat art, which uses 2 bars, and then 4 hits gets us 2 bars back. Combat art gets us 2 bars, over and over and over again until he's done. After he gives his extremely dramatic spiel here.
Yeah, how could you do that to him? It's just... it's... The words are coming to me very soon. A way to describe what you're doing to him.
An injustice, perhaps?
Yes.
Oh. My other commentator here, I'm gonna say hello.
There it is. There's the main...
Also, I'm a really big fan of his attempt at flight here. So this guy is technically a bird, I guess. And he tries to prove that, but I mean, he's got no feathers, so he's not very successful at it. But he's gonna spread his wings and fly for a little bit, and it looks extremely goofy.
He does his best. Stop bullying him.
And there he goes. So intimidating. All right, so we're gonna pop this bell. He's gonna come sliding into us as we charge up this combat art, and oh look, he's stunned. 1, 2, 3, 4. Combat art. Oh look, he's stunned. Repeat till dead.
Well, it does change slightly. After a certain point, he tries to do a certain move, no matter what, which is very slow, which actually allows us to get a few more attacks in every time before having to spear him again.
Yeah, so like right when he gets his health bar past the unchained text at the top, he's gonna start going for this dive move instead, which we need slightly different timing to stun him out of.
Yeah, I believe
Probably one more
technically you
round here.
could do the same timing. It's just slightly faster to do the additional attacks.
Yep. So now we're gonna do 6 hits. He's gonna dive. And the hitbox is way too big there, so we can still hit him.
Yep. Just with a little bit of his tail coming out, you can still totally spear it.
There should be one more here. Actually, he might die from the hits. Yep.
Looks like the hits will do it.
There he goes. So yeah, now at the end, we're gonna get a choice between ascending to heaven? Question mark? Or
Ascending
just
somewhere that's not
staying
here.
Yeah. We're gonna choose to stay here because the cutscene that plays is faster. And the timing does not end until the credits pull up after the cutscene. So, I'm gonna get Fish Moly back on the job here. He's gonna swallow us. The credits are gonna pop up, and then it'll be time. And time. All right, so that is Mortal Shell. If you are a fan of Souls-likes, this game is awesome. It's a little on the shorter side, but it's also only $30. So, I would highly recommend it. Cold Symmetry is awesome. They've been supportive of the speedruns. Yeah, they're super talented. This is their first debut game, I believe, and it's like a team of 4 people. And like, did you see how good it looked? Like, I don't understand. I mean, obviously it's more than 4 people, but like a core team of 4 people. But yeah, so huge shout outs to them. Shout outs to Mitch for commentating with me, and my cat Scarlet
Thank you.
for also commentating with me. Come here and say goodbye, Scar. Yeah, huge shout outs to my community for all their support. Love you guys. I really appreciate the donations. And thank you to GDQ for having us, even though we went a teeny tiny bit over estimate. If you're interested in speedrunning this game, speedrun.com/mortalshell will have links to the Discord and such. We'll be happy to help you. It's honestly a pretty easy run to learn. It's just when you make a mistake, it loses a lot of time, obviously. But yeah, I think that'll do it for us until Saturday, where Mitch and I will be back racing Sekiro against each other this time.
Yeah, big rivals here.
Yep. All right, I think that'll do it. You can take it away.
All right. Thank you, LilAggy, for that wonderful run of Mortal Shell. And thank you all so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and read some more donations as we get ready for an interview with the runner of Wild Arms, our very next game on the marathon. I have $25 from Castlevania, who says, last year during AGDQ 2020, my wife and I watched the event in the hospital while our infant son was being treated for cancer that we were lucky enough to find thanks to early detection. Now he is 1 year old, and AGDQ is his first real exposure to gaming. My family owes so much to the work of the Prevent Cancer Foundation and eternally grateful for GDQ. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for that donation. Yep. And one of our major sponsors this year, like so many before, is the Yeti, official merch supporter of GDQ events since 2011. Over $1.5 million donated to GDQ charities. All profits from the AGDQ 2021 collection go to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. The collection is available until January 10 at midnight. Get your order in before it's gone at www.theyeti, that's TheYetee.com. All right. And hey, thank you all so much for joining us at Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 online. My name has been VenBright. This will do it for me. This is the end of my last shift for the marathon. But that doesn't mean we're going anywhere. We have so much more incredible speed runs, incredible content for you all. We're going to go ahead and throw it to a marathon, a interview with Chaos RTA, who will be running Wild Arms, the very next run. And the Kyle Thomas will be taking over on hosting duties after the interview. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute delight. And keep on keeping on. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, I'm Blecky. I'm here with Chaos, who very shortly for you is going to be doing a Wild Arms run. Chaos, how are you doing today?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm excited for the run coming up. I'm actually really excited because I feel like Wild Arms as an RPG doesn't get quite as much love as it could. It's a really, really cool game. I checked it out on the leaderboards. There's 15 runs of it right now. And I was just wondering, kind of, as it comes up, what do you feel sets it apart from other RPG runs?
I think the main thing is one of it is its length. It's pretty short for an RPG run. It's only even someone first starting out, it would probably take about 2 hours to finish a run. It's got a lot of glitches to it. It has a lot of wrong warps and duplication stuff, so you can get super powered real quick and go straight to the end of the game. And it kind of has a bit of a Zelda inspiration to it, where you have bombs and grapple hooks. So you have some broken stuff related to those things as well. So it's a bit different in terms of your regular RPG.
And from checking out the run, it also is really cool that there's kind of this, it feels very execution heavy to me because it feels like with the running, there's a lot of inertia. There's this kind of stuttering to get started. And then kind of the same thing, once you turn, you have to kind of execute that. How does that kind of manifest itself in executing the run and maybe separate it from other RPGs?
So yeah, a lot of RPGs, you have a run button, but it only really changes your speed. You still have full control over your 8 directions and stuff like that. But in Wild Arms, as soon as you start running, your direction is fixed. And you did notice the stutter step thing that at the start of a run where it kind of gets you moving slightly faster. But yeah, it basically means you can't be on autopilot for a lot of the movement because to be fully optimal, you have to know when to cut corners and know when to stop dashing and when to turn and all that. So it creates a decently high skill barrier for the game to get super high times.
Gotcha. And I think, if unless I'm mistaken, I think you would kind of know what it's like to run this game because you've been running it for quite a while. Is that right?
Yeah, I've been running it since 2012. Those kind of were super casual speedruns where I was just kind of recording offline and just timing and see how far I could beat the game. And there wasn't really much tech there, but as over time more tech came in, and I've been pretty consistently running the game throughout the years till now. So yeah, a decent amount of time speedrunning the game compared to most.
Gotcha. Have you found in that time, so because it's been 8 years now, or yeah, just about 8 years, have you found like that there's been a lot of developments in terms of strategies along that time, or has it been mostly just kind of like we're using the same tech, just let's perfect it over time?
So the biggest year for tech being found was 2014. That's when Hollow Man and Out of Bounds really came into play. And from there it was more just minor optimizations and slight route changes, and also branching off into different categories. But this last year in 2020, someone named Uru from Japan actually started looking into glitches for the game and came up with several that I never found. One is item generation, where you can get any item in the game, but it's not super useful because you need a full inventory. But the other one is mole warp, and I won't go into too much details because it actually is used in the run, but it's actually drastically changed the run and actually made it way more marathon safe, which is super cool. So big shouts to Uru.
Cool. When he came on the scene, like, had he been running the game before that, or did he just kind of show up and find this new tech?
So first I learned of Uru was him posting an item generation video on YouTube where it's like, hey, this glitch probably isn't useful, but check this out. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So I actually did try it out, did a run. It got like a 147, which is about 20 minutes off world record, but still pretty cool. I looked into what they've done previously, and there's some FF5 glitch stuff, but I hadn't really heard about them before. So they might have been known in FF5 community, but I'm not really part of that one.
Mhm. Got it. Cool. I also noticed that your run is actually, for how many of runners of the game there are, it's actually, your run is about 10 minutes faster than second place. What would you say kind of came together for you in your record run?
I think a large part is just I have been playing it for a while, more than most people. Typically, when a runner picks up the game, they first aim for a sub 2 run and then try to whittle off time from there. And at some point, they'll get satisfied with their run and kind of move on to something else. So there's not really, I think the 127 time, since it's so far from what they would be used to getting, it kind of is somewhat like, okay, I'm never going to get that. I'll just get as good a time as I can and move on. So, but I think it just really comes down to I've been playing it for several years, and most people just play it for a few months. So it's just a matter of practice.
Got it.
Mostly.
Because I mean, you mentioned this mole skip. How, which was just discovered recently. How much time does that save? And do you feel like this run kind of utilizes it well enough, or is this maybe a good time for someone to like come in and use that skip to oust your record?
So Mole Warp, it's a weird skip because it skips some stuff, but then makes you do more stuff. So it's difficult to calculate exactly how much time it saves. But there is one important property to it where it changes your end game party and makes the end game much easier. We used to have a route where you only had one character, but now you have two. So it saves some time. We know that for sure, but it also makes the run a lot more consistent. In terms of using Mole Warp for anything else, it's unlikely for the no ace category because it'll become evident once you see the warp. It's not efficient unless it's absolutely necessary. So we only use it a couple times just because without it, the route wouldn't work at all. But otherwise, I don't think the Mole Warp would have any other applications in no ace.
Got it. Last question for you. RPGs tend to kind of just have this reputation for having a lot of RNG, kind of a lot of luck in them. Would you say that's the case for Wild Arms?
Definitely at the high end. The prologues have a lot of encounters, and you have to run away from them to get a super good time. I won't be running away in my marathon run. I'll just be fighting them all. And I calculated it. Ideally, it only loses 1 minute, so it's not a big deal to fight them versus running away from them. And the end game, after the prologues, there's like a good 40 minutes or so of mostly skill-based gameplay, and then the end game comes up, and it's just a pure RNG fest where you fight 4 final bosses. And the ideal strat is to use a spell called Randomizer, and as the name implies, it just selects a random spell and you have a decent chance of getting a very powerful spell, but you can also end the run using it. So you try to hope that doesn't happen, but there's a lot of RNG, definitely.
Very cool. Well, that run is coming up very shortly. Thank you so much for joining us, Chaos. Really appreciate it. Anything else you wanted to add before we head out?
No, that's about it. Just look forward to my run and hope to see you there.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. It'll be coming up shortly.
Hello, AGDQ 2021 online, powered by Twitch. I am the Kyle Thomas. So good to be here again with you this year. How are we feeling tonight? Is everybody staying hydrated? Everybody staying stretched out? We're going to make it through this late night. Well, late night here in the States, at least. Wherever you are, I hope you're staying hydrated and flexible. We had so much love coming in for that Mortal Shell run. And a little love for our previous host. We've got a donation for 20 from Maya that says, shout out to the runners, staff, couch, and of course, my good internet friend, VenBright. Good luck, everyone. Maya, thank you so much. You saw that wonderful interview with Chaos RTA. We've got Wild Arms coming up here in just a minute. Gonna read one more little donation for you. This one with a little love for that Mortal Shell run from Crypt Rat Daddy. It says it was for $25. It says trying to hold out for the Wild Arms run and am loving this Mortal Shell run. My first chance to donate to AGDQ. Let's kick cancer's butt like LilAggy is kicking these bosses' butts. Well, Crypt Rat Daddy, I hope you made it to this Wild Arms run because we're gonna head on over and let Chaos RTA take it away.